Good day, good evening, and good morning whenever you're watching this video. This is Tracy Brown, your somatic nutrition therapist and body image expert, and we are going to really dig deep this week. I put out a question here on Facebook around what would you need to be less triggered? And I think there's a big difference between having emotion about maybe somebody's food or eating or whatever, or a thought about it, or maybe an opinion about it, and actually just being full out, having our own struggle. And so I asked this question yesterday, and I got way more responses than I thought I would get, because it's a pretty sensitive topic. And again, this is the power of this community, right? Is that we're willing to do the deep stuff. We do nuanced stuff here, right? We don't really just talk about the surface of body positivity and all that. So people gave me so many great answers, like boundaries. Some people say it's time. Some people said I just need to keep doing my trauma work. Some people talked about how the real truth is, we do live in a fat phobic culture, and it's hard not to have feelings about if you are larger. People might have thoughts and feelings about you. And again, in those discussions, we talked so much about you're going to have feelings about that. We are going to have feelings about that. What we want to get to is probably a deeper level of resilience around being able to see people's judgments, comments as a reflection of their own dysregulation, a reflection of their own even realized, let alone processed, fat phobia or trauma and that kind of stuff. And so, oftentimes people don't even know that what they're doing is super inappropriate, and how frustrating that is. So today I want you to start thinking about what narratives inside your head are running the show. So your mind might know a lot about maybe how come you struggle with food. But think about the themes. It's really, really important you think about the themes and the bottom line of what triggers you. So I talk a lot about, in my work with clients, around pride. And I know that's a sticky topic when you're ashamed. I would consider myself a chronically shamed person in my past. And so how do you counsel around being prideful about your body or your food intake and thinking maybe you're above other things when you're chronically shamed? And I think what happens is one of the very common boomerang effects of being chronically shamed is you look for something to get away from the shame at all costs. And of course, pride would come up if you can put all efforts into trying to be smaller and to get your food right, and to put up lots of structure in your day to where, there is no flexibility, and it's almost like you can treat this dissonance. That's a really hard topic. And I think it could be hard when you're a really sensitive person to look at, some of those thoughts and some of those behaviors are a representation of the boomerang of feeling not worthy and swinging all the way over here to pride. And how do we come back to this place of, I'm in this space where, I do the best I can with the body I have and be an appreciation and take care of myself, and keep learning and keep growing and keep doing my work, and still knowing that I have more room to grow, in that really middle, humble, curious, open, willing, resilient spot. And that's long-winded, I know, but I just want to really dig deep into what keeps us spinning. So if you think that it's terrible to admit your pride, it's not. It's your freedom. And so another example might be, what other narrative is running it? And it could be, honestly, the way we talk to ourselves. It could be cruel and punishing. And to other people, you might be loving and generous and, again, all the good things, kind and helpful, curious, an intellectual, like I'm hungry to understand where you're coming from. And to yourself, you could see you maybe do all this movement or try to get your food right, and you're not as thin as the person you see out there on the street walking, and you start just viciously berating yourself. Well, that tells me that there's some internalization, right, of how you were talked to, and that has to be addressed big time. And so I know this is a lot for a Monday morning, really early, but that's what we're going to talk about this week, is learning how to see what this self-talk tape is around your food, your body. How come you tell yourself you can't take risks with food? How come you tell yourself that it matters as much as we think it matters what people think about our bodies? And, basically I'm asking all of us to hold this really tenuous space of of course, we want to be loved, we want to belong, we want to be safe, we want to be accepted, and you can't give up your whole life and soul just to get those things based on opinions from people who haven't done their work as well. Very dangerous, and that's what we're going to talk about this week. So anyway, in the comments below, just any of your meanderings, and I really want you to preface with, because we're going to talk about clarity this week as well. Most of my clients, when we just sit and be a second, we can get clarity about what is running the show and what needs to happen. So I'm going to urge you all this week to take some time to assess your willingness, to assess the clarity you have, and just do an assessment of yourself, where you stand. It's been a hard couple months, I know. And if you're struggling with kind of feeling stuck, totally normal and acceptable. It's just deciding, well, am I ready? Am I still in a place of survival, or am I ready for something else? Just doing a little assessment of what's going great, what's stuck, what's not moving, maybe what part of you isn't wanting to change things, and no judgment about that. All right, that's our topic for this week. It's a big one, but I look forward to digging into the weeds with you. So leave your comments, your questions. Again, we're going to talk a lot about clarity in our next video, but today, just start doing a little self-assessment. When people talk about being triggered, it's not just about what other people think, it's about some of our survival strategies. So start to look more deeply into that. All right, we will talk real soon in the next video. Bye for now.